you almost 60 years old, you got all these accomplishments. Now the question is why are you with a 20-year-old OnlyFans model?
Men do have fun sometimes, and it's okay, in my opinion. However, there's a way to do things.
This dude beats this girl up.
I thought it was a dude he was fighting the way he was fighting her.
I'm gonna stop. Traps got a hold on me. Made my first little money, fell in love with the block. Traps got a hold on me. Took it to my nigga country and he killed it with the pot. Traps got a hold on me. 50 racks to my jewelry, yeah, I killed him with the watch. Traps got a hold on me.
All right, man. Hello, man. Want to welcome you guys to another Untrapped podcast. Man, we just out here discussing the politics of a culture. From Wright Street to Wall Street, from MLK to Hollywood Boulevard. Today, this show is going to be sponsored by Skip Day. We got a double header Skip Day going on for Memorial Weekend. One of them is in Houston. One of them is in Atlanta. Make sure that you get your tickets from At The Choice, Poncho at The Choice, for the Memorial Day double header Skip Day edition. Today, your boy Real Coach Rude is being joined by my boy Reese Sweeney.
My God.
You know what I'm saying? He's been on previous episodes with me. And then for the first time, my girl Diamond is here. You know what I'm saying? We got a good little cast today. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be talking about, a few things, you know what I'm saying, that's going on in the community. Because, I like to talk about stuff as far as Untrapped goes. I like to talk about things, you know what I'm saying, that can help us further ourselves and put ourselves in a better position. You know what I'm saying? I think one of the most frustrating things that is going on is just like we just keep on putting ourselves in these positions to be taken advantage of and exploited. And it's by design. It's not, you know what I'm saying, our own ignorance. You know what I'm saying? They're using our own ignorance against us by design to put us into these positions over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Yes, sir, man. But welcome you guys to the show.
Thank you.
Man, I appreciate it.
Happy
Hats
to
off
be
to
here.
you. First, let me take my hat off.
Yes, sir.
Dap my boy up. I love the studio, man. It's beautiful.
Appreciate it. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is your first time recording in a new space.
Yeah. I love it, man. I just appreciate just greatness. I don't want to put black greatness. It's just greatness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just greatness. So.
I appreciate that. I definitely do. And this is our first time in this space, you know what I'm saying? We're having, woman energy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in this space. Yeah, we
breaking into space.
You
I
breaking
like
into
that.
space. Yeah, this is our first time having woman energy in this space. So
Okay. From Cam Newton to Untrapped.
yeah,
I like
why
it.
not?
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Why not? And it's real. So why not just do it like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I said from MLK to Hollywood,
Right.
And y'all know what's going on in Hollywood now.
Too much.
Man, this guy, my boy Shannon Sharp, Uncle
Skip.
Shay, man. Golly, what he done did. My boy done got him a 19, 20-year-old, OnlyFans model. That's what they saying. That's her occupation.
That's our occupation on paper.
I don't know if that's like, is OnlyFans, is that like an occupation?
Does she make money doing it?
Absolutely.
That's
They're
an
making money
occupation.
doing it.
Okay,
Is it
so
legal? Is it taxable legal income?
And it is.
So
Then
that
it's
she's a
occupation.
professional.
OF girl.
She's an entertainer. That what she would be considered an entertainer.
Okay, so what category does that fall? Like,
Adult.
because that's important. That's important, like in the description, because
Yeah.
the headlines say, Shannon Sharp, Gabriella Zuniga, I
Right.
think that's her name.
I couldn't say it if I wanted to.
OnlyFans model.
Neither.
So
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the clickbait part of it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, you could just say she's an entertainer. She's really categorizing my opinion, semi-educated opinion of it is, you're an adult entertainer, right?
Right.
Because it's not for kids, right? It's an adult entertainment part of that industry, and she's using her talents,
Right.
you know what I mean, on camera to solidify her bank account.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we can all agree on that adult entertainment is her business.
Absolutely.
All right. So that's important for me because it builds the context, you know what I'm saying, for like the foundation of their relationship, right? So it's like you looking at Shannon Sharp. He's very accomplished. You know what I'm saying? You before you even get into the entertainment industry as a broadcaster, you are a Hall of Fame NFL tight end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you are a very well accomplished person. You know that came from nothing.
Dirt
you know
floors.
What I'm saying?
Like literally
just dirt floors,
Yeah.
middle of nowhere country, Georgia, and you worked your way up. You know what I'm saying, from the bottom, and you put yourself on this, platform. You leave from athletics, football, professional sports, which is so hard to fight your way through, especially to be a person that received a gold jacket, which is damn near impossible.
Right. That's just
And
very
then-
small, very small.
And then now you work your way through the broadcasting world. Now you're on ESPN, and it's like you got a 20-year-old OnlyFans model. It's like you put yourself in a position to already be guilty before anything is even accused. You know what I'm saying? It's like you almost 60 years old. You got all these accomplishments. Now the question is why are you with the 20-year-old OnlyFans model?
I'm
Because you
loaded.
can accomplish all of that without using your moral compass.
Okay, well tell me,
Okay,
talk to me about
yeah,
it.
I want to hear
Talk
that
to me about
perspective.
it.
I mean, I feel like a lot of men have lost, a lot of people in general, women and men, have lost in the understanding of the value of being with a woman and a wife, having a wife. I think social media, instant gratification, always seeing things to stimulate you, because I'm overstimulated. Even sometimes when I'm in my home, I have to have on a TV, I have to have my phone in my hand and my computer open. It always has to be several things going on. So I feel that people are desensitized with true love and the value of a woman and what she brings to the table. Because any man that's accomplished like that should be having a woman holding the home down. Not saying that anything that he's done is illegal. Everything's totally legal. He has the freedom to be with someone that's over 18 years old.
Right.
She can be a stripper. She could be from the corner.
Right.
However, that is for a certain phase of your life. But once you become accomplished and you hold a certain crown on your head, there are certain responsibilities that come with that. And again, I feel like that depends on your moral compass.
Go ahead.
It's your show, brother.
No,
I'm just
no,
here because I am loaded right now.
Yeah, because the first when you said it over and over again, you kept on saying woman. So is that are we saying that she's a woman?
It's levels in womanhood.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. You want a queen at his status, he should be having a queen.
Right.
A woman that holds the household down and wears the crown as well as he wears a crown outside of the home. He's the provider, and she knows how to make things multiply at home.
I think to piggyback onto that and what I think you getting at, one, the age thing, right? So women do mature faster than men. And I think, things that you have gone through will help you to get to where you're going to go mentally, right? So as a woman, I don't know, seeing some of the behavior, some of the conversations they had, I would say she's probably not at the maturity level he should have been with, a woman he should have been with, right? And then sometimes in these situations we go, oh, he should have had something, because I think you're speaking to the kind of the fact of if you got that much to lose, you got to be with somebody that has something to lose as well. But
Absolutely.
the flip side of that, is it's not that she didn't have anything to lose, she was just in it to gain, right? So if you with somebody who's in it to gain, like in certain industries, right, you know that you have to subjugate yourself to certain things in order to come up. And I'm not here to judge it, because I don't care what you do to make money if you're not hurting anybody, right?
Right.
But what I will say is this, that we all know that in an adult entertainment industry, outside of maybe 3 or 4 names, right? And I mean whether it's on video, on OnlyFans, on social media, or in person, like on a strip club, right? You have a certain amount of shelf life, unless you're going to go to Claremont Lounge and do it till you 80, right? You got a certain amount of shelf life. And some women are in it to make what they need to make, put themselves on the not right path. I'm not saying that's the wrong path, on a different path with more longevity, right? And then they gone. And some women are career, right? I think this young lady is career based on what I'm listening to. And career means that she will make her career by any means necessary.
Absolutely.
And in this situation, he was a come up. And
But-
that's what I see.
Sorry to interrupt you, because I agree with you, and I like to piggyback from that before we lose that point. With the flip side, turn the coin over. I understand coming from the adult life entertainment and making a career of it.
Right.
I feel that men do have fun sometimes, and it's okay, in my opinion. However, there's a way to do things. And if you don't dot your I's and cross your T's, she will get you in the end. So you're going to have to pay for it
One way or another.
one way or
One way
the
or
other.
another, right.
So for me, he should have paid up front.
Pay for the
I think this is
Pay
the
for
problem.
it.
I think he
Pay for
did.
it.
This is what he's not looking at. And this is where
Well, she should have signed some papers.
I totally agree. So what I totally agree with you on is a few different things. At some point, you got to have somebody who is going to be in a management position along with you in your life, right? And that will be your queen, your wife, right? Because she's not going to mismanage you, because she understands that if you can make $100 million today, you can make $500 million over the next few years, and she's going to make sure she does not mess up that investment. This young lady was here for a come up, but what he was there for was for fun. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was there for. And if you're not signing non-disclosures, if you're not listening to them phone calls, because the first time she put you on speaker and said, "Oh, I don't want you to hold on, let me check my phone, let me make sure it's recorded. I don't want you to choke me no more." You know what I'm saying? That's what it seems like when I listen to some of these things. You know what I mean?
So essentially, that's what we're here to talk about, right? Is the
that?
choke me part? Is the violent part? Because the reason why this story is getting attention is the violent part.
But is it?
Yeah, she's claiming that he was verbally and physically abusive to her, right? The claims is that whatever the foundation of the story is that they had a relationship while they were in LA, and that he was abusive while they were in LA, and then for whatever reason, she said, "Okay, I want to move from LA, even though you're being physically and verbally abusive to me. I want to move from LA with you to Las Vegas and continue that relationship." So their relationship spanned it over, however many months or whatever. It couldn't have been that long, because she's only 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? So
I think it was over.
But was it kinky? Was it like
it was? And that's
kinky,
what I'm saying.
choke,
So
kinky,
I agree.
verbal, kinky?
But that's what I'm saying. So this is these are the lines of ambiguity, you know what I'm saying, that we pretty much, you know what I'm saying, are going to be talking about.
Right.
But my thing, I can't count anybody's pockets, right? It's not my position to count anybody's pockets. I don't know how much money he makes exactly. I know he's a millionaire. I don't know what that looks like, because all people have their own problems. They got their own bills. I don't know, a person can have $100 million and have $80 million worth of liabilities, and, you know what I'm saying,
and tax liens.
Basically be, you know what I'm saying, broke. You know what I'm saying? So there's you don't know what people's situations are. So to me, if she's 20 and they already had a relationship, they were in a relationship, that means that he got her when she was teen, and that to me makes her a girl.
Right.
Like, I don't care.
I agree.
I say this about, like, even when it comes down to sports, people call these, college athletes men. You know what I'm saying? And they're not men. They're still boys. They're more boys than the actual other boys that didn't grow up in this cocoon. So that's the other thing about it is that, your lifestyle, how you grew up, is what matures you. You know what I'm saying? But definitely 18 to 20 years old, or 23, 24, 20, depending on your life experience, you're still, to me, a kid.
I mean, your prefrontal cortex doesn't develop until 25.
Right. So
in some cases,
and then they know that, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't really just agree on the woman part, right? So past that point, you're a prominent figure. You highlighted the fact that you're doing this for whatever, your enjoyment, right? So the first thing that comes to my head is like, I'm confused. Like, why wouldn't you just have a rotation?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to where this was like a mainstay? Like, what is going with Gabby?
the price was right.
You know what I'm saying? No, ain't no such thing.
I mean, Neo got
talking about
4
him.
girls in line.
Yeah, so
Leo got 4,
so
5.
In line, and
different,
they're not
though.
trying to violate each other
The-
at all.
but
So
if her request was 25 per cheek, that's 50 reps. That's not the price is right. That's the wrong price.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
You know what I'm saying? Once you say 25 per cheek, to me, I'm like 50
It's nothing to
racks.
talk about. I'd be like $50.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
thinking
no.
you'd saying
There's
2,500.
No, I'm thinking you saying $50 because it ain't no
I
way.
mean, you are
Yeah.
from
What's
OnlyFans. I'm giving 2,500 per cheek.
You know, but 25K, and she was
What
serious.
is her
And
monthly
so past
fee
that point, you still have a follow-up conversation that she's able to record and get you talking about choking her, which she tricked you into because the nature of your relationship. She obviously tricked you into that conversation because the nature of your relationship was kinky, whatever
was
y'all had
already
going on,
going
which
hard.
is your personal business. Like however
Right.
you want to get down in the bedroom is not my personal business. How much money you got, that's not
Right.
my personal business. This is how you get down. Okay, cool.
Right.
She knew she was fixing to trick you into this conversation, but what I can't understand is that how did the conversation continue past 25 per cheek when I know that what you're looking for can be in rotation.
I can tell you right now how that happened. The wrong people around you. That's it. Cause I have like we've been cool for how many ever years, right? I'm never gonna ask you about what you doing on your personal time, but I know for a fact if I see you moving a certain way, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, bro, what you got going on?"
Yeah, you
and we're
come
gonna
to
have
the-
a conversation. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna
you
have a
come to
conversation.
the house, or because this person you seeing the same
Yes.
person over and over.
Yeah,
and over
we got to
again.
figure that out because if I see you at 50 plus years old, and I'm talking specifically in this situation, if it would have been one of my uncles that's well off, right? And I was be like, man, what you got going on, bro? You 50 plus, this girl ain't but 20, 19. My daughter 20. Two of my daughters are 20.
Just why
You
we
know
here
what I'm
today.
saying?
I got a
And then
21-year-old.
If
I
I see,
have 2 girls.
that's what I'm saying. If I see a young woman and I know what she does, I'm like, bro, she's setting you up. This is a spider web. I already see what's going on. And nobody in your circle said, hey, bro, what you got going on, man? Nobody stopped that. Because you got to see it. It's a car wreck right now happen. You going 110 miles on 75, and we know 12 out today.
Right. And then you say, dot your I's and cross your T's. And I say, as soon as you say, dot your I's and cross your T's, you say, what do I need this for?
Yeah.
It's not even what you want because you could buy what you want.
I'm having
Right.
reparations with that.
Yeah, it's
girl,
what do
man.
what do you need this for? Right?
Yeah.
Because now I'm saying to myself, like, golly, does she got the best box in America?
Can't be.
We know that's not
We
true.
know that ain't
Because
true.
I do. But
You know what I'm
just
saying?
saying.
That's what I'm
Everybody
saying.
feels that way. Every woman feels like they got the best box in America.
100,000 a cheek. No,
Yeah, yeah, right over here.
10
Right,
million.
Yeah, we
My cheeks are real, so
10
it's more
million,
a million a
you know
cheek.
what I'm saying? 10 million a
You don't
cheek,
get
my
real
bad.
no more. So yeah,
Yeah.
we going up a million.
Yeah, we going up.
2
Yeah.
million.
20 million
Yeah.
a cheek. That's unlimited. But I understand you, bro, and I agree totally.
Yeah, so what?
It
I don't
can't be worth
It
it.
can't. There's no way because
you know what it is?
You started
Guidance.
off. You say we know what this relationship is based off of.
Everybody
it's
knew.
based off of paying for the P. Okay.
I mean, think about it though. Sorry to cut you off,
No, it's
but
all good.
it just hit me. Drea, look at Drea and her situation.
Mm-hmm.
I've had opportunity to be in something like that kind of a situation as well, and I passed it up because of my moral compass.
Right.
I don't
You
care.
gotta-
Millions, hundreds of millions. That's fine. I only regret it when it's the first of the month. However,
Man, I gotta be able to sleep at
however,
night,
I'm saying though, like it flip side, you got Drea that's older dating a younger guy that may be her son's age, is what I heard. And she's benefiting, although she's not like she's not suing him or anything like that.
It's
but
a long game.
she's has a long game in this. So I think that the girl, what is her name? The little white girl. Gabriella. Sorry to reduce her down to a little white girl, but you suing one of our kings, so I gotta say little white girl.
That was pretty accurate description, I think.
I feel like she is in it to get what she wants to get out of it
It's
as
a
well,
lick.
to benefit as well.
And
Right.
so is the attorney.
Okay, and that's what I was about to say next because this was the first question I asked. Right? I said to myself, she's 19 years old. When she's just now 20.
Right.
She's 19 years old when all of these allegations are going on.
And I keep hearing 2 years.
How does a 19-year-old girl gain access to Tony Busby?
You know how?
No, but I'm saying what?
It's a plant, bro. It's a honey trap.
Okay, so wait a minute. So now the conversation is changing because how if you telling me that they put this girl right here in his gym inside of his circumference on purpose, knowing that he was going to go for it?
I can't
That's
confirm or deny that, but I can say this. Even if the honey trap wasn't set, they can see that it's already caught a fly, right? So let's just say if you see him out with the girl, it's Shannon Sharp. Somebody's gonna make news. Just like when they saw him on the sideline with the little dude, and then the speculation came out that that's his
right.
Yeah, right. That situation.
I missed that situation.
Even if that wasn't the
when
case,
he was courtside with the when he had the bag on, with the they were saying that was his
his stylist. They were saying his stylist.
They was trying to.
I didn't even see
but his
that.
stylist is into the other side. From. He like to do the other side.
Remember
he don't
the
like
video
women,
came out with
I don't be knowing
what the girl name was.
I don't. Monique, was it Monique? Nah, I don't remember, bro.
Oh man, I don't want to mess the
This
girl
is
name
Shannon
up.
with the stylist.
Shannon was at the game with his stylist.
With his stylist.
His stylist came to the game, and he just may have styled him to the game. He may went to the game.
But most of the stylist guys are
and most of like
Rainbow.
the assistants, the personal assistants, all that. I don't care what you do on your free time.
But they were trying to say that him and Shannon, like that was his. You know what I'm saying? They had a little thing going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then the video comes out of the live. You know what I'm saying, with Shannon and with Shannon and the girl. Dang.
Yeah.
Man,
With
Michelle.
With the tape. You remember Shannon had left. He put it on live.
Yeah, with Michelle.
with the sex
by accident.
tape.
By accident.
Yeah.
Right. So then now he's like,
drilling
her.
her.
I'm you know what I'm saying? Y'all trying to say I'm gay. I'm not really gay.
Oh,
Yeah.
so he came out with that.
Yeah.
So that was
the proof.
So
The
they were
follow-up.
trying to say that he brought it out because he was trying to prove that he wasn't
So,
gay. Or whatever.
but I'm sorry. So, and I probably took the long way to make the point I was making.
No, go ahead.
You see him courtside, people see that, right? So then you have access to formulate your own opinion about the situation. So even if nobody sent her to him, it was known that she was with him. Before the world knew, people knew because they've seen them together one way, shape, or form, or they may have seen him subscribe to her page. I don't know, right? So if you've seen them together, she's 19, she does OnlyFans. If I'm Tony Busby, if I'm the lawyer, right, and my thing is to sue people in these types of situations, I, as a business person, will reach out to that young lady.
Absolutely.
And say, hey, is everything okay? Yeah. Even if I'm not, I say, hey, I'm Tony Busby.
That's what they
You
do,
can Google
though.
me. Is everything okay?
Yeah, they have girls that sue in strip clubs like Magic City. I've had attorneys and girls reach out to me, and I'm not even interested in suing them.
Right.
And they literally will come for me and ask me questions. I'm
because they know that you have access to that platform. She has access.
Yeah.
So even if they didn't set that honey trap, y'all look up what honey trap is. It's a real thing. They do it in governments, take over whole nations.
Absolutely.
Once they saw that the fly was in the trap, I can go and approach her and see her level of interest. And if he's spending $25 a cheek, which is 50, just say 50 a matchup. Let's just say she going 100 a month on Unc, right? 100 a month. And he said, hey, I got a quick way to get you about 25. He's probably going to try to settle out of court just so it won't be a big fuss for 10 because he works for the mouse. If y'all don't know what that means, ESPN is owned by Disney. He don't want that to get out at all. And what happened? He tried to settle to keep it quiet. And if I'm her, I'm not going to take the settlement. Why? You know why?
Why you not going to take the settlement?
Because if you trying to settle for 10, I'm going to take 25. She don't care about the long game, bro. She trying to get 10 million.
What?
I'm
But
tell
the
you
attorney
why.
wants his percent. He wants
I'ma
money
tell you
too.
why.
So he's like, we're gonna have to split this up.
No, let me tell you why, bro. Let me tell you why. It was never about taking the settlement. You know why it's not going to be taking the settlement? Because one thing, you got Tony Busby, right? This is why. If I settle, I can't say a word about it, right? It's going to be a disclosure agreement. I can't say a word about it, right? I need this to be as high profile as possible to get more clients. So even if we go to court and I only get 11, at least I can talk about it.
That benefits
If-
him.
no,
How
it
does this
don't.
benefit
Not
her?
wrong. Let me tell you how. Because he's her attorney. It ain't gonna benefit her. Don't matter. If she goes to court,
God.
she can't deal with him again anyway on the non-disclosure for
Y'all
10.
see how deep this is?
Yes.
Do y'all see how deep this is?
But
Listen,
it's all
get
comes
you
down
a
to he don't.
wife.
listen,
Yo,
y'all.
get you a wife.
One first,
It's
yes.
very beneficial.
And the second thing, get you a homeboy like Rue, like my guy, the real Coach Rue would have told you, Shannon, chill. He'd be like, come on, Rue. Come on, Rue.
This is the
Yeah,
elephant
for
of the
real.
room. This is the elephant in the room that everybody is like dancing around, right? You just brought it up with Drea. The elephant of the room is that you're dealing with a younger person on purpose.
Yes, on purpose.
Right? And that same reason why you were dealing with the younger person on purpose is what came back to bite you in the ass. Right? Because like you said, they figured out that they were messing around.
Come on now.
They figured that out. They coached her up.
Yes.
She did not have these skills. She did not have the skills to be able to get him to say what was needed to say in order to
promise.
put this suit together. So
Yes.
at this point in time, now she's being coached up.
Now she wearing a
Right?
wire.
So even if there was violence or anything like that was going on in LA, well, it makes sense for her to go to Vegas because she is at this point in time being coached on her movements. So, and now you're saying to me that Tony Busby is also targeting her the same way that Shannon Sharp is targeting her because she's young and she can be manipulated, because you just told me that he's convincing this 20-year-old girl not to take life-changing money, which is $10 million.
I'm
because
trying to tell you
that
that.
makes absolutely positively no sense
To me, you or Diamond. But
I would have
but-
took the 10.
You why? How
sure.
are you not taking
I
10
would've-
million?
But I also
because
would not.
somebody's-
I'm a little scary, so I would not have sued him. I would have tried to do something behind closed doors if I was looking for a come up
trying
like
to
that.
tell you.
Depending on where my moral compass set, I would try to go around the back end, because I'm not a person that likes to just be out there accusing people of things.
But
or
we also
I believe in
understand.
karma. You know
I
what I'm
think,
saying?
and this is just my opinion, and I probably am wrong, but I don't think I am. I think she was with everything that was happening while it was happening.
Oh, no,
I
there's
absolutely
no-
think
there's
she
no
was probably
question.
choking him like he was choking
she
her.
saw
It
it.
was
She
going-
saw
it
him
was
when
going
she
down.
met him.
Yeah.
She saw an opportunity.
She
saw
said,
the
"Put this
opportunity.
big black baby in me." That's
Exactly.
what
She said
You already know
we saw
that's
those
what's going
messages.
on.
We already know that everything was consensual. That is 100% fact.
He was paying to be able to do those
part
things.
that frustrates me about situations like this, right? Not just for today, because it doesn't matter. Shannon Sharp, you are a victim of today, right? There is going to be another victim of tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Until the conversation is had to where what is going on to where you can accuse somebody, and this is domestic violence is a very serious
Yeah, it is.
issue and conversation in society. This is not just with our community or culture, but when it comes down to our prominent figures, right? It seems like the Tony Busbys of the world have figured out this recipe, right? Because all they need to do is incorporate some type of force or violence, right, inside of whatever the recipe is, and then the defamation alone earns millions of dollars in multiple different ways, because now everybody's like, oh, okay, Tony Busby is the one that knows how to put together the recipe for me to get millions, so I'm going to seek out, if I'm just in a relationship with somebody and I'm just mad, I'm just like, oh yeah, it didn't end the way that I wanted to end.
Right.
I made this request and they didn't give me the request that I wanted to have at the end of the relationship, so I'm salty. I got this text message, or I got this phone call, or I got this
some
picture,
kind of proof.
or I got my homegirl vouching for that one time, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and you see it happening over and over again, right? And it's like the same thing. Tony was with the Diddy and Cassie situation. It's like the Diddy and Cassie, that video from the hotel. Like, why did that video get held? What you holding this video basically to get a ransom? And I'm thinking this to myself, right? As all of this stuff is going on, I'm thinking this to myself, because if I walk into a business, right, or I walk up to a person and I tell them, hey, if you don't pay me, right, it's going to be repercussions on the back end.
Right.
Right? If I go to somebody and I say that
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form,
Right.
I'm going to prison
Yeah.
for extortion.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Well,
terroristic threats.
Tony Busby is going around doing the same thing. It's
Doing
like,
it legally though.
Yeah, exactly.
well, I mean, because he's a lawyer.
yes.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
Because
saying
he's not making. He's not
because
making.
you
He's
got
not
the
making.
law on
he-
your side. Because
well,
that's the question to me. Like,
Can
why can a person, why can a person claim violence
Mm-hmm.
against your reputation or whatever that is? Not necessarily just violence, but force or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Why can somebody claim that knowing that it's going to defame you,
Because
it's going
they
to
have
hurt your
come up.
reputation, it's going to put you in a position to where now what is he losing? Endorsements, he's losing
Right.
jobs. We see this happen to prominent figure after prominent figure after prominent figure. And it's like, then you get on the other side of it and he introduces these terms like, oh, wait a minute, this is obviously consensual, but the it's already done.
yeah.
The damage has
is-
already been
so
done.
that's the thing about today. Though.
So this girl, she has nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Busby is running around extorting people. He has nothing to lose because he can strong arm extort somebody without repercussions of the law.
Right.
The girl can, or whoever it is, whoever the next person is, because it's going to be another Tony Busby. Tony Busby is going to target another person. It's going to be another girl.
Right.
All of these accusations can be thrown out, and even if they're found to be baseless,
It don't matter because your damage is done.
nobody else on this side of it gets penalized.
They
So
should.
well, they can-
They
you
do.
can.
Everybody's
Yeah,
doing their
you-
job except for
Yeah.
Shannon.
Nah, you
No,
can.
She's doing her job. She's getting
Tony
the most
Busby
out
just
of it.
did the same thing to Jay-Z, and Jay-Z stood on his business.
Yeah.
He showed all of his everything. He got all his stuff right, and it got dropped. But why doesn't
Well,
if
I'ma tell
Tony
you why
Busby
they got
brought
dropped,
that
though.
case? But if he
Can-
brought the
but-
case and it didn't have, and it was baseless,
Yeah.
then why isn't there a penalty
It
put
can
in
be.
place for Tony Busby
but
to
I
not
think-
be able to do this again moving forward? Why is he able to do this over and over and over again without penalty?
Because, all right, yes, you're right. I agree. But I think that anybody, not me, but anybody that goes through that, right, whole ordeal, because now you guilty. It don't matter, right? You guilty even when you're innocent. Now people are going to look at you with that stain on your reputation. So that is called a defamation of your character. You should countersue. The only
That's
reason
Jay-Z's countersuing.
That's what I'm saying. That's
That's
to
his doing
that's
his
to answer
job.
your
That's
question.
his
But
job.
let me say this too.
But from a
before we go
legal
to-
standpoint,
that's
why is
legal.
he still able to practice?
Well, that's different because you have. I don't know the whole extent of the law, right, and the whole thing of the law. But I do know this: it's not in the law. It's not extortion if I'm bringing it up on legal grounds. So he's not threatening to beat you
Yeah.
up if you don't pay me.
Yeah.
What he's threatening is he said, "Hey, I have this information on
Yeah.
you.
Pay up or else.
No, pay, but it's not coming out like that. It's
Yeah.
coming out like this. I
Legal-
have this
with the legal
information.
Pay
parameters.
up or I'm going to
Just
release
check it
this
out.
information.
He's not releasing it. My client.
He
my
did
client
it to
but
pay
listen,
up
my
or I'm
client.
going to release this video. And he released the video. That's
Yeah,
pay up
that's
or
what-
else.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's not him. In this case, he's representing
They
on behalf of his
representing
client.
people,
Whether he
right.
coached his client or not.
Right.
My client has evidence that you beat her up. And we release this evidence and take out a suit.
I want
unless
to know that Diddy is a bad person as soon as it happens. If you got the video, I want to know
but
that
you're
Diddy,
not a lawyer in this situation.
put it
you
out
have
there.
nothing to gain in
That's
this
what
situation.
I'm trying to tell you. Why
He has something to gain, and he has the evidence to prove that that her claim is worth the gain.
and
Now,
this
is where it
that time
gets
he
tricky,
was
though.
right. I'm talking about
That's
the
what I'm
time where
saying. That's
he's
where it gets
wrong.
tricky.
The times
Then
where
you
he's
countersue.
wrong. It's not just about countersuing. I'm saying even the times where the girls, the people that are supposed to be the victims in
Yeah.
the situation, right? When they're
aggressive.
plain flat out lying
Wrong. Yeah.
and bringing up these
They
false
should be
accusations,
charged.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, they should be charged.
I'm saying
like
that
the
if-
young lady
I'm-
with the football player. She accused this man of beating her up. He was about to lose his contract with the Chiefs. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
He's about to lose contract with the
wide
Chiefs.
receiver.
He went back and got the tapes and the footage and the calls and all of his due diligence.
She pulled his
and
dreads out.
pulled it out and said, "Hey, you hurt me. I never put a hand on you. I wasn't abusive.
He had to
this
cut
is
his
false.
hair because
Right.
she pulled his dreads
and
out.
all of that came to light. Now, to me, I think she should be
Absolutely.
charged
That's
with
what I'm
something.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
It's not enough to say, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm saying that whatever the penalty is,
Yeah.
that he or the person, because she's suing, if they're suing for 10 or 50 or whatever, whatever the amount is, or whatever the time is, or whatever the penalty is,
Yeah.
they should be facing the same penalty, because at the end of the day, just like in those, there are other situations, right, that are happening where people are really getting drugged and really getting hurt. And so those people lose their voice or lose their ability to
Yeah,
even be
because
talked
of-
about. Like there's 2 or 3 different situations other than this Shannon Sharp situation that just got swept under the rug.
You know, we need. you know, we need-
Namely, this video was so gross and disgusting to
Yeah.
me. The what's his name? Capri Taylor. He's a comedian,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
YouTuber
Yeah,
or whatever like
yeah,
that
yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
And they got this video of him, and he's beating this girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in a lot of fights in my life. You know what I'm saying? And
Bruh.
I'm trying to remember and think to myself, have I ever beat somebody up like this? Like, you know, when you beating somebody up and you're winning, you know, there's something else different that makes you stand over top of somebody and completely just want to dominate and completely, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to win a fight
It's
right
the
here.
difference between some fighting and then you becoming psychotic or it's some kind of break.
This dude,
Mental illness is
this
real.
dude beats this girl up.
I thought it was a dude he was fighting the way he was fighting her.
He's swinging on her with all of his might.
Like,
Are you
he's-
talking about a
he's
situation on the bed?
brilliant
Like
with
she was
that.
on the bed,
She was
and
on the
then
bed.
he's standing.
And then she gets away,
Yeah.
right? And then he goes and grabs her and drags her back and finishes the job.
To me, it's a special place in hell for dudes like that.
Absolutely.
So this is it, because it got to be, because guess what happens, right? I got to sit down with my daughter. I got to
Yeah.
sit down with my daughter, right? Because I talked to my daughter about these things ahead of time, right? That's this is the main reason why I wanted to make sure we did this show. I sit down and I talk with my daughter ahead of time before any of these situations possibly can happen.
Yeah.
Right? And tell her, hey, listen, I don't need you messing with no lames.
Right.
Right? And I have my list of things of what I call lame, because everybody got their opinion of lame. But I just want to make sure
list probably
that
is
you
that same.
understand, right? That I don't need you crossing the line with no lames. If whatever's going on, I get it. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? You popular, you pretty. It's gonna be people in your ear, things like that going on. Okay, cool. This is what you're looking for, and we're gonna make sure that there are not lame. So a video like this comes out, and I sit and I watch it with her, and I say, this is the reason why I say to you, don't mess with no lames, right? Because this is what lame turns into.
Yeah.
Right? Because what you was about to say is that now, no, hell no. Forget guilty, special place in hell.
Yeah.
Guess what happens? I gotta do something to you.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
I looked at my daughter in the eyes when we watching the video. I looked at her in the eyes. I said, "Hey, baby, do you love me?" In the middle of the video.
Yeah.
I looked at my daughter. I looked her in the eyes. I said, "Baby, do you love me?" This is why I'm telling you, right, that you can't mess with no lanes.
Because you can't put me in a position and not be here for you.
If this ever happened to you, I'm going to kill this nigga.
Right.
Well, see,
I'm
I
gonna
grew up
kill
with
him.
a dad, and I would say this: he feels, my dad is a little not so tapped into like the black culture, but I will say that
You don't gotta be black.
he would be like, in my previous relationships, when I would have a lot of drama or I put myself in a situation, at certain points as girls, I understand how fathers feel, but you can't risk your life. If once you teach your daughter certain things, you can't run in a burning house if she is the one kind of contributing towards that burning home.
Exactly. That's the reason why I'm sitting
there's a
down having a
line.
conversation right
I was
now
gonna say that, so
early
I have
so that
that
we
too.
don't have to figure it out later on down the line. No, I want you to know this. I want you to be thinking this to yourself when a boy wants to take you out on a date,
Yeah.
anything like that, if you see this boy get any type of aggressive or controlling, you need to think about your dad in this situation, because if this dude does anything like this right here, what I'm seeing, I'm talking about pure unadulterated rage.
Yeah.
I'm saying psychotic, you blacked out, you are super duper narcissistic. There was a red flag that occurred. This was not the first time that this happened.
Not.
There was something going on with this dude ahead of time. He showed these traits and it was avoidable. I want you to think to yourself inside of your head. I want you to know, as my daughter, that I 100%, I'm looking you in the eyes. I am going to prison for the rest of my life if I ever see anything like this happen to you.
Yeah, because it's gonna be premeditated, and I understand. That's what I'm coming from.
I'm going
too.
all the way.
It's all the way. So let me piggyback on what you're saying. This gonna be the piggyback episode.
Golly.
On top of me going on having that same conversation, I'm like, you can't date a lame. This is a lame. This is what they look. This is what they look like. This is what they act like. This kind of how they talk. This how they manipulate, and this and that and the third, right? And that's why it's very important to have a real man in your daughter's life, ladies. All right?
For sure.
Second part of that is you also cannot bring about lame behavior. So I tell my daughters like this, and I box, they know how to fight, right? But I tell them, you can't win a fight against a man. You can't. And now I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm not saying that Clarissa Shields can't beat me up. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that she was getting answer over there. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's never going to be a win for a man fighting a woman or a woman fighting a man. In any way, shape, or form. You can't win. And I was taught this, how I was brought up. I was brought up by people who didn't always abide by the law. They told me if you ever get into a fight, you either got to know you got to win or be prepared to die. That's the two rules. And you never know when you're going to win. I've been in a lot of fights in my life, and I trained hard to fight because I had to. I was made to practice boxing, right? And I tell my daughters this: hey, you should never provoke a man into fighting. That doesn't mean that you're gonna be a pushover. That doesn't mean that if somebody is trying to bait you or they're being aggressive to you that you don't protect yourself. This is what you do. If you come into that type of situation, the first time somebody show you who they are, you got to believe them. So if he's a person that's raising his tone for a reason, he can't. It be them like in ATL when Tip snatched the chain. And ATL, Tip was lame in the movie. You know what? Let me tell you why.
That picture,
he was acting. He was a very good actor in that movie, right? To portray that. If somebody taking stuff away from you right away, they hitting walls. They doing certain things that you know that this could rev up. This could be me.
Controlling behavior.
And go ahead and get out the situation. Right. Because it ain't worth it. Because it's going to end up being something like this. Now, I'm going to jail.
Right.
Because I'm coming to protect your honor.
Yeah.
And even in this case, if you're wrong, I'm still coming to protect your honor.
And Diamond, I want you to know, like, even what you said is relevant, right? Because I'm not talking about a domestic dispute, right? I'm not talking about y'all got into an argument, the argument got passionate,
right?
And
because that happens. That's human.
You know, I know that there are situations that are like that where it's something light, right? That's none of my business,
right?
That's none of my business. That's just normal wear and tear on the vehicle.
Nah, he beating her up like a dude in the street.
I'm talking about full-fledged. You just crossed all the lines possible, and the fact that you double tapped on it, you know what I'm saying? Like how the government, they drop bombs and then they come back and they
sweep
drop
it again.
A whole nother bomb when everybody's running in to help. Right. She had somebody that was there that ran up and tried to and was covering her up to protect her, and he didn't care nothing about that. He is still delivering damaging blows.
But the worst part about that, if you watch that video, he was very deliberate in his deliveries because he never touched a girl that was coming to help her. So you got to know it's something even worse and more disgusting about the behavior. Because if you black out, I'm looking at if he blacked out, if he had a psychotic break, he's beating up everybody. He's swinging on everything. He's breaking stuff. He never took his focus off that young lady.
Yes.
So
my dad taught me that all men are dogs, and you just got to pick your best dog. That's what he told me.
Facts.
And you got to pick a trained dog, or you got to know how to train your dog because there are men out here like that, and women need to know that he does need to serve consequences for what he did anytime a man puts his hand on a woman, and vice versa.
Consequences.
I
That
agree.
if that's not aggravated assault, if that's not charged at the same thing, when he comes back and that's a weapon.
Yeah.
You basically are turning yourself into a weapon. This is not
And
a
he had
domestic
time
dispute.
to think in between the two
Yes,
instances.
there was. Yes, that is because for me, like, there's no amount of time that he can get. He don't deserve to be here. There was another incident where the buddy, was he a wrestler? He's a wrestler or something like that. He was driving down the road because of the same type situation, and they got him driving down the road, shooting at the car.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it's the same type situation where it was like sexual. It was assault, some type of sexual assault or something like that against a minor.
Yeah,
it was his niece.
Yeah, his niece. Yeah, and then he ran down dude.
He ran down Buddy because he found out. He found out about the older guy. It's a little teenager girl, and he like, no, I'm going all the way out.
Yeah,
and I'm saying that there should be stuff in place
that should protect the people that do that. It was a story about these vigilante dudes running up on sexual predators that were like trying to take advantage of young boys and girls, and they were running up on them dudes and either killing them or beating them up, or getting them locked up if the police made it before they could get to those, to those situations. I think those people should be protected at all costs.
Absolutely. I think so too. Kind of like the lady that shot, would she shoot her husband because she found out that he was molesting children at her daycare center?
Right.
But
And then she got
she's
time.
that's
she's locked
crazy.
up. And he's not even locked up.
Oh,
To me, I think
crazy.
That's
wild. Backwards. That's backwards.
She is supposed to look. It's some people that ain't supposed to be here.
The community should stone him.
That's what I'm saying. We got to go back biblical on some of these niggas' ass.
Just go back to Africa.
Yeah, we got to go biblical on some of these niggas' ass because y'all are taking it too far.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why you should be preying on the weak. Basically, that's what we're sitting here talking about. You're actually preying on the weak. You're trying to take advantage of a weaker person, whether it's mine or whatever. Like, that's the reason why I wanted to make sure I said that during the Shannon Sharp part of the portion of it, because you got what you asked for. You preyed on the weak, and then whatever is coming to you, that's the seed that you sowed. You sowed this seed.
Exactly how I feel.
You sowed this seed. So
Absolutely.
whether it's 50, and that's the part that I hate about social media, because there's a part of me that says to myself, like, maybe this is fake a little bit. Maybe they're choreographing this. This is too sensational. Maybe he's doing this for attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a part of it where I'm saying to myself, like, maybe this is fake. Maybe him and Tony Busby, they all sat around and said, you know what, we're going to do this for whatever the gain is on the back end side that us normal, regular people can't, you know what I'm saying, even fathom, because there's some back-ended, Illuminati shit going on that we don't even know how they make the money off of, you know what I'm saying, whatever the circulation of this conversation. Right? Either way it goes, right? The culture and the way that social media is set up it's a math equation to me, right? Is VSS, right? It's violence, sex, and sorrow. Like, I'm trying. In order to get maximum attention, for the whole world instantaneously, is through whether it's to be ultimately violent and be able to show that, to be ultimately sexual and without, crossing the line that gets you banned or whatever like that, and to make people feel sorry for you and what you're going through at that moment. Well, I just want to make sure that the foundation of the conversation was laid with that, Shannon, because I don't feel sorry for you, Shannon. Everybody else, you can get on here and you can do all of those little one-on-one press whatever like that and be all, put your puppy dog face on and like act like you're the victim. No, you're not the victim. You're a predator. You preyed on this 19-year-old girl, right?
And she preyed on him.
And then somebody came right behind her. utilized her to prey on you.
It's
You
always a
sold
bigger
that.
shark.
You sold that
She
seed.
was preying on him from the beginning, and he was preying on her from the beginning.
They were
Exactly.
And then
using
the
each
attorney
other,
came,
and then
yeah.
a real shark came into play.
And so now whatever, and now everybody, people want to put out the funny little memes and bring up the Cat Williams and all that because he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But no, you guys are the funny part of it is kind of diluting the point.
Mm-hmm.
The point of the matter is that this is what happened.
You can always
Cat
not put
Williams can
yourself in
say
that
it
position.
funny, like, oh yeah, I'm messing with the white girl, 19, 20. He went through and said it as if, like
Right.
you said, as if he knew
He
what was
knew.
going on, and
He knew.
he was
That's
being
just simple
he was
math.
being- he was-
In
he
his
was
way.
being the big homie,
But that's
Right.
simple
and
math.
right there on the show, he was trying to tell him, "Hey, Shannon, you tripping."
Right.
Right?
But
He was
even
trying
if
to
he
tell him.
wasn't, let's say we just talking about, you say, hey, I just met this little 19-year-old little white girl. I'm gonna be like, yo, that doesn't
Yeah,
make
you
sense.
bugging.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
like,
math
That's
ain't
the
math.
math. The first thing I'm thinking is, dog, you tripping.
we
know what
can
I'm
just
saying?
hypothetically make up a situation and just bring those equations in. It just doesn't.
And so even if you're trying to figure out how to monetize it on the backhand side, because this is not something that's just a one-off. Like everybody is doing this. Everybody is setting up these situations, right? There's no such thing as bad publicity. Everybody, the stars are setting up these situations so that on the back end they can look into the camera and say, feel sorry for me. You know, because that makes money, that gets followers, that gets people to go to your page, and it increases your views.
The
and,
VSS.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the quick way. It's the clickbait. It's the quick way to get famous.
It's the quickest way.
Yeah.
So now that formula, it should come back to bite you in the ass. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you deserve, ultimately you put yourself in a situation where you deserve, you know what I'm saying, what's coming to you.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So from past that point, so what do? As far as our daughters go, I don't know about her parents, you know what I'm saying? Because we see in different communities that things like this is okay. Like, maybe she feels like she can be the next Kim Kardashian, you know, because the Kardashians put this into play.
Right.
The Kardashians put victimization turning into monetization. They put that into play. So it's not like there's not a roadmap to this level of success, which
Right.
is pretty much what y'all are saying. Okay, turn down the 10 million to be Kim Kardashian or the Kardashians. Maybe they have that conversation going on. You know what I'm saying? But it's still, that was like one of those, that's the sorrow play. You know what I mean? But for our daughters, I'm like, hey, I don't want my daughter, right? Because I played football. I don't want my daughter, and my son plays football. I don't want my daughter to be so attracted to the football side of me. Or when I tell her, hey man, you need to find a boyfriend that grew up similar to how you and your brother did, and then she goes out and she gets with a football player, and then it turns into the situation like the boy from Southern University,
Right.
that played football at Southern University,
Yeah,
and then they got
wide
the
receiver,
video.
right? Yeah.
They got the video of him
Choking
the girl out lifeless and dragging her body across the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That-
saying?
So I
It's
think
like,
the two,
it's
and I don't.
gut-wrenching to me. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love my daughter so much, and that I can't swap her out.
No,
when I
you
see,
can't replace people.
yeah, I can't. I'm not even seeing this girl.
Yeah, you seeing your daughter.
All I can do is I can see my daughter, and I'm like, golly, like, what's going on inside of these young women's lives, right? That make them feel like they need to attach themselves ultimately to something that they knew was already coming. And
I
so
don't-
that,
but
from a female perspective, like
I
what?
think everything is about trying to find love, because we're made for love. We're made to, like, men don't grow up and emphasize marriage. Like when you're younger, you don't, like, you don't put.
We don't have that fantasy of like
Yeah,
the marriage.
us,
and-
we
yeah.
fantasize about love ultimately. So if you don't understand healthy love and it's not shown to you, because hurt people hurt people.
Right.
So a lot of times you
I
can
like
see
that. Hurt people.
unhealthy relationships, and if that's all you see, then that's all you know. We only know what we see. I've become a victim of, everyone has become a victim of their life experiences and the things that we've seen. So when you see healthy love, you are able to make better decisions.
That's true.
When you're lacking love and you don't understand what it looks like, you'll tend to take the unhealthy side of a man that and take his violence and translate that into love if he's consistent in your life. you don't understand the values. Your values aren't right, and your moral compass is off. And I know I keep saying that, but that's a super valuable term, like for a woman to have a moral compass
and a sense of value. So if you know you're valuable, you're not going to go for any price. Exactly. And I don't mean money. I mean, you're not going to put up with certain behavior. You know what I'm saying? So like if I'm talking to a young lady and we're dealing with each other and we have our first disagreement and she's going through the roof on a simple disagreement and I'm trying to talk to you and say, hey, I'm just trying to get to a solution to the problem, then I have to know my value is not going to be belittled by what you're trying to do in this situation. If you can't hear me, if we can't get to and I'm not going to say not emotional space, but a space to where you can actually get to a solution, then we don't need to be together. And that for a female,
but you're a mature man. Yeah. Right. So that's the other part about it is that the same way that you're utilizing the word moral compass, we got to utilize the correct words about teaching our daughters to seek out mature men, and in the lines of being in a relationship, questioning their maturity. Yeah. Right. And being able to feel comfortable and confident in themselves to know that it's okay to have conversations about those things, about what you're talking about. Are you mature enough in the heat of a moment? You know what I'm saying? If I'm just off that day, or, I'm a female, so I'm off, there are days that I'm going to be off balance sometimes. And, I might go over the top. Are you mature enough to be able to, walk away when I'm antagonizing you, unfairly, and so all of those, it's like we skip over a lot of important conversations because they're taboo. When the education is what's arming you, for the situation on the back end, right? Because so many people are losing so much. So I'm a father that could potentially lose everything that I have, right? And this is when I'm talking about these people, I'm not talking about, I don't know them. I'm not talking about them personally, right? I just know that if my 20-year-old daughter, right, is riding in a car, right, with her rapper boyfriend, right, and she's pregnant, right? This is what happened with Boston Richie. Allegedly, he chokes her out 20 different times. Like, this is what the report says, right? And she's pregnant. Right. She's pregnant, right? And so she's saying that she lost consciousness multiple times, right? And the part that grosses me out about this the most is that inside of the complaint, it said that there were 2 other individuals present while this was happening.
Right.
Right.
But lame against lame. So if you around dudes letting you do that, I'm assuming there's other male.
Exactly.
Whatever is going. So at that, I'm looking at that. I'm like, man, y'all the lamest. Whoever the 2 people are, y'all are the lamest people ever in history.
I've seen guys like this is my whole thing. Comments. I go underneath comments and I'll see like situations where maybe a guy will disrespect a woman in public, and maybe become physical, and everybody kind of minds their own business and keeps moving like it's not even happening. But I would expect for, real men to step in. But the only problem is, what if that man doesn't make it home to see his family because he's trying to protect someone else?
It's not okay. So if we sitting here talking about protection, if I'm in the same car with you, right, and you can't respect, I'm looking, hey man, hold on, bro, she pregnant.
Right. If you can't hear that.
Yeah, if you can't just hear those words, hey man, listen, bro, your business is your business. This female is pregnant.
Right. But what if he retaliates against you for feeling that you're trying to have an input? Then
as we talking about moral compass, right? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with taking that on. Okay, you want to beat on her? Okay, cool. Beat on me. If I lose my job, if I lose my ability to make money off of this, I can live the rest of my life like that. But what I can't do, right? Because I'm not a fuck nigga, I can't go to sleep knowing that with that dream inside of my head, that image inside of my head of watching you choke a 20-year-old pregnant woman. Because now, guess what? I can't see nothing but one thing, which is who?
Which is your
my daughter. So right? So if that happens, and my daughter's 20 years old, right, and for whatever situation, and she pregnant, and this is my grandbaby in her stomach, Now, what's unfair to me is that I gotta go away.
Yeah.
I got to take you away from your family, and I got to be taken away from my family. But a lot of this stuff can be solved just with simple conversation ahead of time, just so that everybody.
At home, though.
Yeah,
It
at the
starts
house.
at
I mean, we
home.
just need more conversations to get us untrapped. So we got to do that. But I'll give y'all a real story, and I'm making short. To answer your question, when you say, what if that person don't make it home, you had to be willing to stand on something. So, like, people in the civil rights era was willing to die for what they believed in, right? And that ain't everybody, because some of them folks got on the bus, some of them moved, some of them didn't stay for the hoses, right? My personal situation, I saw a gentleman getting belligerent with a female. It was like 2 a.m. at IHOP. Now, I had no business being out there late, so I was already shouldn't have been somewhere where I shouldn't have been. So now that I'm here,
But God put you there.
I'm here. He was getting belligerent with a young lady, right? He was outside. No, he was inside. No, he was outside. I don't know how we rotated, but anyway, I ended up stepping in between. I said, hey, bro, I don't want no problems, right? Whatever y'all got going on, but you cannot do this here. You know what I'm saying? You cannot do this here.
Yeah, this ain't the space.
He pulled a gun out on me. You better get out of my way. And I said, hey, look, you going to shoot me in front of everybody? That's what you going to do? You going to kill me because y'all got into an argument? That's what's going to happen? So I'm talking to him like this. Luckily, 12 came. They pulled up, and he ended up getting locked up, whatever. But at the same time, not that I'm a tough guy, a superhero, and I'm definitely not bulletproof. But I will say this: you have to be willing to do the right thing. Because me, even if I'd have died that night, I feel like I'd have went to heaven because I'm trying to do the right thing.
Right.
I don't know what God's plan is for me, but it wasn't to take me that day. Now, I'm not saying nobody to jump in front of no speeding bus or bullet, but I will say this. If something is urging you to step in a situation, or you see something blatantly wrong, especially in a situation where a woman cannot defend herself, as a man, you should step in. If it ain't fighting the dude, at least break it up. At least say something, or at least shield that woman. Cause I was brought up under the regime of you supposed to do the right thing, but also you don't know their business.
Right.
She might have slept with that man daddy. You don't know why he snapped like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta assess the situation too. You know what I mean? Even if it's her.
If she slept with the man daddy, you know what I'm saying? If you,
Now, me and you different, cause we gonna say this. We gonna be like, we can't control what she do.
Right.
So no matter what she did, she did or she gonna do. So whatever I do can't stop you from doing it.
right, this
Only
ain't
thing
for,
I can
this
do is
ain't
live
just
right.
for her. This
Yeah.
is for you.
Yes.
Don't go out like that. It's way too much more out here.
And that's what I was saying to
That's
the dude.
the long story. Not so long. Like even bringing it back around what I said with Shane. It's too much going on out here that you could put yourself in a you move around.
Yeah.
But I feel like, again, life is not going to be all peaches and flowers, and it's not going to be perfect until you reach heaven. So on earth, there are certain things that are going to happen to teach other people lessons. Again, teaching at home is very important. It's going to get worse. Times are getting worse. It's not going to get better. We can sit and talk until we're blue in the face. However, these crises and things that happen outside of our doors are going to continue to grow and get worse. It's up to us as parents to start to teach them at home, because we're all being controlled by a device that's in our hand 24/7. I mean, I am even guilty of that. I can't even wake up, and the first thing I wake up in the morning, I'm checking out my device in my hand.
Right.
So it's like we are being controlled.
I got a solution for that too.
I mean, I'm cool with that right now. However, I feel like I was rooted a little different. I grew up with both my parents in my home, so I saw love and I understand. So those things, although I can be influenced by certain things, my mind and my prefrontal cortex is developed. So I am in my values and I understand who I am as a person.
Right.
So I'm able to balance those things. I feel like everything in life is about balance.
Yeah.
Everything.
I pray in a cuss.
So,
Balance.
With that being said, there are going to be crimes we can't control. There are going to be lots of things that happen outside of our homes. It's just we can't stop it. But to talk about it is healthy to talk about it, to open those doors, to be preventative.
Yeah.
Talk about preventative measures. However, you know, once you leave those doors, I tell my daughters, this is love in this home. Once you leave the doors, you have to be able to find love yourself, because figure it out, because it's not going to, people aren't going to love you the way that I am in this home, you know.
But they see
I'm
it.
giving you all the keys. Though. I'm giving you all the answers. I'm telling you what's up. I'm showing you things. But once you leave those doors, you know, it's you and God.
I look at it like a good piece of fried chicken. Like, you know what it's supposed to taste like. And as soon as I taste something that ain't seasoned, I know that ain't what I want. So you giving them all the tools. They have to not just internalize, but also exude it. They got to know they love themselves. And that's the thing about a lot of these situations. Like, these people don't love themselves, because it's no way that if I'm valuing myself, I'm not going to put myself or keep myself in certain positions if I keep getting devalued, right? So I think it all comes down to that. Your moral compass, like you've been saying, because that's very important. So a lot of people don't have that. A lot of folks going to get it however they want to. They're going to win however they need to. And that's a dangerous person. You know what I'm saying? Also, your value, like how you value yourself, your self-love is going to take into account with a lot of this stuff. Because in my opinion, like you said, that moral compass should have stopped Shannon Sharp, right? The value, not just your value of you being a Hall of Fame athlete, you coming from an HBCU to make it to the NFL, you overcome all these odds, then you have to understand that you have value.
But addiction is real, though.
Yeah.
Addiction is real, and that's why I brought up waking up with the cell phone in your hand.
If he knows himself and he's addicted to whatever he's addicted to, okay, know yourself and put yourself in a responsible rotation so that you don't wind up on the other side. If this is what you want, okay, don't make yourself accessible to it to the point to where it could be taking advantage of you. There's a lesson to be learned in that, like you just now said. You know what I'm saying?
But
you just said something. I can't let it go. I can't let that part go, bro. You just said something. That fried chicken thing.
Oh, it's a double entendre, cause you know what I'm talking about.
My boy just, I have to say it because we finna get out of here. You know what I'm saying? That this episode's pretty much over, man. But my boy just, I gotta say this because we gonna talk about this at some point in time. Why in the world, right, do y'all know that fried chicken is supposed to taste a certain type of way, and you know this, but y'all keep putting y'all self in the relationship with these women that don't know how to make fried chicken, man?
Right, or vice versa, or these fellas that don't know how to set the table right. I get what you, I know. I know what you saying.
No, don't make that face.
I know what you saying.
Hell no, this ain't the time to be quiet. Hell no, wait a minute, hold on. Because that's a part of the problem. You just now said that it's the seasoning.
Well, some people not going to protect you the way you protect yourself.
Because look, you got to think about it.
No. He's talking about something else. Let me say that. He's talking about something else.
You just now said, right, that the man is supposed to be trying to find the woman, not girl,
right?
Because the difference between a girl and a woman is the seasoning,
right?
Absolutely.
So why do we see over and over again these prominent figures, right? Because the question comes up: why do we see our prominent, especially in our community, our prominent black figures?
That's what's being promoted.
Go and eat this bland chicken.
But hold on though.
Literally, I'm saying y'all know.
I've asked guys that question. I've asked guys like that are prominent figures that question before, because I have badass white, like a friend that is so bad, white girl. And every time we go somewhere, she gets all the attention. And so I'm asking the guys, or when they finally separate or divorce, then I'm asking the guy, like, so how do you feel about black women now? You know,
what's the answer?
Like, and he's like, you know, they wear weaves. They don't know how to talk to their men.
It's deep rooted.
They start taking those turns, and I'm like, well, if you understand that women are out to be to benefit, we want a successful man. Period. Whether you black, white, purple, green, everybody wants a successful man. If you know, because if you know the girl's intentions in general, everybody's out for wants something. However, you're going for the opposite of your culture, the opposite of what you know, that you know what's at home, and you're attracted to these white girls more than you are the black women that's around you. But I will say this though.
But I'm saying, you're saying that they got the same intentions though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Different chicken, same intentions. So that's the part where I'm like, why? Like, if you like, do you really think like you're saying, oh, weave and I don't talk? What do you really think
But
that
that's
it's
a
that
certain kind
much
of
that
it's
it's
a
that
certain
much
kind of girl.
different?
That's a certain kind of girl. So
Let's-
you
let's-
got girls
intentions
that
are the
Come on,
same,
though,
right?
but
You got
this is
girls
different,
that
though.
are-
I want to. No. I'm agreeing with you,
I
but
know,
let me
I
get. Let me
just- I
take.
just
Let
don't
me
wanna
let me
go
go.
too
So
deep-
this is
deep
different. So
into
so
it,
let's
man, 'cause
statistically speaking.
Golly.
Statistically speaking, it's over 85% of black men that are with black women. Right?
Yeah.
That's statistically.
Right.
It's not more. It's not more mixed relationships.
Right,
Let's
right,
just
right.
put that out there.
Right.
But then let's talk about when you come down to prominent places.
Prominent.
My son, he just came from his first visit at Tuskegee. And you know what he said? I never seen that many beautiful, educated black women together in my life. All right? Let's fast forward. Cool. Most of our prominent athletes have went to PWIs, right? When they're at those PWIs, you're surrounded by white women, right? Who are
that
was there.
glorify
trying to
you.
get
Yeah,
educated.
you've been in this.
was
Yeah.
there.
educated, right?
I still didn't do it.
And they
I like
Facts.
my chicken
You like-
season.
that's what I'm saying. But you surrounded
What?
by that.
Who wants to eat bland chicken? That's why you just said it. It just,
I-
it
yeah,
just
That's where they
exactly
could cook,
what I was
though.
getting at, but what I'm
That's
saying
where they
is-
could cook, though. So
What
you
I'm
can't-
saying is, the taste buds different. What I'm saying is, if you are surrounded by that, I'm not justifying anybody. You love who you love, right? You surrounded by that. You don't have many options, or you have those girls that are going to school to find their husband. And I played at a PWI, and my teammates that were white were telling me like, yo, I'm gonna have fun in college, but I'm finding my wife here, because they understand the value of having a wife and having a stable household and building, then having kids, and then helping them build. So when you get privileged to those conversations, it's mind opening. So to untrap ourselves, we need to start having those conversations with our young black men and talking about how valuable it is to be with a female, hopefully of your culture. Not saying you shouldn't be one.
Let's say culture.
It's
Because,
culture, because I know
a lot
some-
of us wouldn't be here if it wasn't for
I wouldn't have
cultures
light-skinned, bro. Come
mixed.
on
You
now.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We wouldn't be here, so I can't be a hypocrite.
Right.
However, I will say that you know a good woman
Facts.
when you
I'm not
meet a
talking
good
about
woman.
this
Green.
is not a
A
race.
good woman
this
is a
is not
good
a
woman.
race
Right.
conversation, right? This is
Right.
not completely a race conversation.
No.
This is you grew up in the house.
it's a culture.
You know what your chicken is supposed to taste like.
That's what I was saying.
And then I'm going to purposefully
Yeah.
go and say I'm going like, oh, this is you said it. You said that when you go out, this is the one that gets the attention. I'm saying that I'm talking about a mindset where it's like, no, I don't want this season. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the food that I grew up with at my house.
It's
Right.
even
I want
BBLs,
That's
extreme
different, though.
bodies. They
Yeah.
get all the attention just as much as the other girls.
But I think that's a different
But
kind
the
of
girls
attention.
that are natural are not
That's a different
getting
kind of attention.
the
though.
same kind of love and attention.
That's not
Y'all coming
love.
back.
That's not love,
coming
though.
back.
natural
That's not
girls
love.
Thank
coming
you.
back, baby.
Natural girl, I can't wait. All the natural ladies, please.
Natural
We
girls
right.
coming back.
We rooting for you.
I mean, to
Well,
me,
what-
it doesn't mean that I'm better than someone else. It's just that certain insecurities, like if you are doing things to trap people and you're doing things with the motive,
Yeah,
like
that's why you doing it.
It's just like a dude. Like,
most people.
listen, if dudes could pull a girl
Man, I don't
driving,
do that
if
shit.
dudes could
PC
pull a
shit.
girl
That's-
driving an '86
doing the
Buick,
trapping.
wouldn't no dudes buy a Porsche? We not buying it for us.
Yeah, they
just
do.
like if certain females getting extra butt cheeks put on, then you know what I'm saying, they know what they doing it for. They not doing
You
it for
went
their
too far
home
with
girls.
You went too far with the car conversation because we in Atlanta, bro. We just got to say it, whatever it is. You the one that brought up the BBL. It's BBLs and fake chains, man.
yeah, absolutely.
For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? Everybody is finessing everybody.
Everybody tricking
it's
everybody.
like
So
it's-
how you mad when you getting tricked? That's what I
I'm
don't
starting
get.
to think they got Lambos on Temu.
They do.
But anyway,
They got kits. They got a Bugatti kit where you could turn a Volkswagen into a Bugatti. I promise you they do.
I'm just saying though, at the
Just
end
like
of the
they
day,
got kits that turn us
you know
a big
good
girl
one
into.
when you know a good woman, when a valuable good woman
Most
when you
dudes
meet
don't.
one.
That's the problem. That's why we need these podcasts so they can hear them talk intelligently and give them game.
Exactly. You got to have these conversations at home.
Yeah.
All right. So with that,
With that, and if you're not, watch the podcast.
And educate yourself. Educate yourself. It's never. I just watched a
at home.
podcast where they were talking about just how quickly NBA players, NFL players go broke with their money and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Everything is about educating yourself. Don't be scared of, don't just look for instant gratification. This is something I learned, is that, yeah, I could have been with different, ballers, athletes, and all that kind of stuff throughout my years and my position that I've held. However, I've always valued myself and saw the value of myself and didn't settle for certain situations because, and I'm not saying I've been perfect because I've made tons of mistakes
all do.
so that I could speak
Human.
today.
Yeah.
But I will say that from hindsight is educating yourself and valuing who you are and what you have to offer as a woman keeps you away from a lot of being the victim of things.
Right.
And always wanting to be the victim is another problem. There's a lot of people that are codependent and want to always look to be the victim because that's love to them.
Sorrow.
So I will say that, you're with your
VSS.
to piggyback episode on your VSS. I can agree with those things. But again, it's not a lot of real men out here that are putting more time into their kids than they are social media. And same with women. It's a lot of women that just give their kids social media and let them go without monitoring what's going on in their brain. And that will make you lose control of your household, your man, your kid, all of that.
Right. And so a lot of stuff on my page, that gets a lot of attention are mathematical because that's just the way that I look at things, right? From what I said, the math equation for going viral is VSS.
Yeah.
You keep on using terms like value, self-value, and worth. That's a math equation.
Yeah.
Right? So that's pretty much, people have to learn how to do the math on the inside of them first, because that's the value part of it. You know what I'm saying? If you look at yourself like you were your own stock, and would you invest in yourself as you are right now? So if you got to look at yourself in that way, as far as your own value goes, and then how you add value into another situation. Am I going to be able to add value into this situation? And then past that point, you got to be able to do the math, life's math on your own, which is how to manage, your lifestyle. And it's not just money, it's the balance of
discipline,
do I vibe well with this other person, or am I forcing it because of, there's just a lot of math that's involved.
And God,
that people
God is a big equation in this math.
And they keep trying to take it out, and that be the problem.
They keep trying to take it out
because it's one of the unknown values that people don't want to do the math on, but it's the only constant value. It's the moral compass. It's the thing that you can have inside of yourself that is the constant that nobody else can predict.
And that's
so
so it goes deep, bro.
Yeah,
that's like
if nobody knows your math on what your moral compass is, which is now that's your constant to be able to do your math personally according to what everybody else has going on.
But
another thing I was saying, educate yourself because you become deficient in your womanhood. So like I realized that when I was younger, I was looking for a man that would change my life, not realizing that, if you're looking for these ballers, they have a lifespan as well.
Right.
So you can protect yourself and find your happiness or find your purpose.
Change your own life.
Your own life, because I didn't even realize that. I was like, I could have started my journey 20 years ago.
That's why I
But
go
and been more prosperous than a lot of these athletes that have been on contracts.
Yeah, because you smarter than everybody.
You don't realize.
but
You know,
then
being for real though, I'm
you
just
will
being
meet
honest
somebody where you are too. So like if you're at this level, you might meet somebody right here. But can you sustain that? You know what I'm saying? So if I'm constantly trying to work on myself, I'm going to meet better grades of people because that's just the way that it is. Like if I smell good, I'm not going to hang around people that smell like shit.
But
I'm not going to do it.
It's very easy for women to get their bodies done because men are simple. So men are visual. So as long as I'm giving him a visual, then I can. He could change my life.
But to
so
me, that's a lot of energy, though.
That's a lot of women think like that.
That's gonna be a sexual energy.
As soon as I see that, I'm turned. I don't even want to look.
It's different.
You saying it's simple, that's what people want, and then they say they want it. Nah. In my opinion, it's the other way around. As soon as you see it, and it's like, what the? Oh man, because what you gonna do? That's a whole.
It's gonna be another episode.
Let's do it another show.
One more time. Memorial Day, Skip Day, Atlanta and Houston edition on the Friday Memorial Weekend at the Choice my boy Pancho, he got the parties going on. You know what I'm saying? Skip Day. That's why we appreciate you sponsoring this show. You know what I'm saying? With that advertisement, I appreciate you coming on, Diamond.
Thank you.
I hope that you will be a frequent visitor on this show.
Can't wait.
Reese has already been on the show a couple different times. He's made himself a frequent visitor. I appreciate you coming and being here. You know what I'm saying? In the building for the first time.
Queen, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And what I
Very
said when
nice
I walked
meeting you
in,
as
because
well.
she's exuding that value. What I say to you when I walked in?
You apologize for not taking your hat off.
To introduce
introduce
myself, because
yourself.
she's giving that queenly energy.
Thank you.
And it's mandatory that
I was raised by him. That's
That's
why.
what I'm
exactly right.
Right.
We appreciate y'all tuning into another episode. We'll see you on the next episode of Untrapped Minds.